What a good start. Thank you all in the chat for letting me know. I'm not sure if I can do a deadline stream tomorrow morning. I had a bit of time now, so I thought I'd come on and answer a few of your questions. There we go. No sound. Thank you all for letting me know. Hopefully you can hear me now. Hopefully it's back working fine. But yeah, I thought we'd come on. We would do a few questions, talk about my team for the upcoming double game week 29, and all of that good stuff. We'll probably do about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, depending on how things go. But yeah, that's the plan. I don't imagine we'll get loads, so hopefully I have time to answer all of the questions for you guys who have decided to come and tune in. All good now. Good. So my team for the upcoming game week is up on screen now. I've taken a -4. I sold Jared Bowen and I sold Dennis, and I brought in Harry Kane and I brought in Kudasevsky. I'm quite happy with how my team is lining up. There are a couple of transfers that I'm looking at, but I don't think that I'm going to go with anything more than I have already done so. Am I still streaming tomorrow? I'm not entirely sure, which is why I'm doing one now as well. TBC. I'm meant to be going out tomorrow, but I don't know what time. If I'm going out later on, then I will stream. But if I'm, of course, going out earlier, then I won't be able to. So, say hello in the chat. We'll do the usual hellos first, and then we'll get into all of your questions as well in the meantime. As we always do to get the stream started, say hello in the chat. If you could like the stream as well at the beginning, that would be really appreciated. And then we'll get into my team and the potential questions that you guys have got as well. My team, as I said, up on screen. I have 4 single game week players in Salah, Cancelo, Rafinha, and currently Jimenez starting. I am eyeing up one potential further transfer to this team, but would be another -4 and would take me to a -8. And given the game week that I have just had, I'm not sure exactly that it's a good idea. For anyone who's unaware, I had an absolutely dreadful game week. So I scored, I don't even want to look at it. I scored 75 points, which gave me a massive red arrow down from 10 to 25k. I know the graphic here is wrong. 25k current rank, hoping to bounce back this week. Have a full 11 of players, hopefully out in game week 30 already. But Kilman is a bit of a concern given that he was dropped for the Wolves game where they did end up keeping a clean sheet. But I've kind of got to decide if I think Kilman will come back into that lineup for game week 30 or if I think he'll be benched again, and that will affect whether I make another transfer effectively. So, hello Abhimanu, Yashwath, Torgay, Birislav, Kaladi, Rutis, Krish, Tech, Nuclear, Ace. How are you all doing? Prithav, nice to see the members in. Diego, Christian, Archie, Dan, Tom, Javid, Boris, NM, Aryan, Abdullah, Torgi. Thank you for the new subscriber. Cam, Jaden, how are we doing? Abir, Christian, nice to see all of you guys in here. Kikito. So, Jaden is asking, I stupidly benched Trent last week for White. Yeah, that didn't turn out quite so well as maybe you would want it to. But, hi Fred, how are we doing? 60 effective points here, mate. Couldn't get much worse. It was a rough game week for anyone who was on the wrong side of all of those decisions. Cool. What do I think about FPL moving? That we're not even gonna go there. Worth getting Kudasevsky, Saka, or Coutinho. For this week, I wouldn't be buying Coutinho. This week, I would be looking to buy Kudasevsky or Saka. Yeah, I think that's the transfer you're making. I'd still probably go Saka. Saka for me is a more nailed option. I do think there's a bit of a rotation risk for Kudasevsky. Yes, there is a chance. Yes, deadline is tomorrow. So let me take deadline out of there. But there is a chance that I'm not able to stream tomorrow morning, which is why I'm doing a little stream now as well. 131 points with bench boost, moved from 117 to 65k. Smashed that game week. Really, really good job. Srika, thank you and welcome. Kilman, Dean, Van Dijk or Rudiger to Doherty. I'd probably sell Kilman. out of those lot because we don't know if he's going to come back in. What am I thinking about Ben White and Doherty? I like Ben White. I like Doherty as well. I don't necessarily have room in my team to go and get him in at the moment, but I like both of them. I don't know if I wouldn't do a transfer from Ben White to Doherty. I don't think that's worth a transfer, but both are good options to bring in this week. Do I think a -4 taking Odegaard to Saka is worth it? Odegaard to Saka is worth it. I probably wouldn't. It's quite a sideways move. Sorry, there's a helicopter outside my house. Odegaard to Saka, is it worth it? I probably wouldn't do that. Although at -4, it's not dreadful. I think it would be quite close. If you have the money in the bank and you don't want the transfer on anything else, then I probably would. Like, I have Odegaard. Let me just shut my door. If you had the money in the bank, I probably would do that because I think long term, Saka will outscore Odegaard by 4 points, so it's probably worth it. Am I going to stream tomorrow before deadline? I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to, which is why I'm doing a bit of a shorter stream now. Who would I bench? Coutinho, Broja, or Mount? Probably Broja. I wouldn't bench Coutinho, the form he's in. Yeah, I wouldn't go selling. Like, I wouldn't go benching Coutinho at the moment. Yeah, sorry, my current rank is not 14k. I can change that in a minute. Let me change that in a minute. Is a -8 worth it so I can bench boost? It will give you more players for next week as well. Then yes, I think it's fine to do that. If it wasn't going to benefit you next week, then I would probably say no. But I think if it's going to do that, then I think I probably would, because then it's a -4, -8 split across 2 weeks. And if it gives you a good bench boost, then yeah, then I would. Let me export that. Where am I putting it? Cool, there we go. Should have changed now. Bench Jimenez or Broja. I was very much planning on benching Jimenez myself, and I was going to bench Watkins at the moment. But yeah, I've gone with Jimenez in my starting lineup because of how Wolves looked. I know they're playing against Watford, but they are playing against a Everton team who have really struggled in the past few game weeks. So yeah, I've gone with Jimenez for the time being. It could change, but at the moment, that's where I'm at. It's been a while since I had a stinker. What's my plan to bounce back? Yeah, so I've taken a -4 this week. I've got a full 11 out. So I've got 7 doublers out this week. And then if we get up the planning tool. So the moves I made, I took out Dennis and I brought in Harry Kane. And I took out, who else did I take out? Bowen, because it doesn't look like Bowen's going to be back for 30, so I'm quite glad I did this move. Kudasevsky. So that's my team for this week, so that's fine. Next week, in theory, I have a full 11 out, so I don't need to make any transfers next week, is the hope. Now, the only issue there is that I still have Kilman, and there's a chance that Kilman isn't, playing for that Wolves side anymore, given that he got dropped this game week. Kilman is the only one that I'm looking at the moment, but it gives me a full 11 next week, and then in theory going into game week 31, I'll have 2 free transfers at the moment. That's the plan. That's the plan for the next few weeks. I am looking at a potential additional transfer to make this week, but I don't know if I'm going to take another transfer. The only transfer that I'm considering adding to this is actually taking out Kilman. Now, I was looking at taking out Cancelo or taking out Salah, and I don't think I'm going to do that. Sar's playing an Everton team who just look truly dreadful. So Sar's going to stay in there, and Wolves' defensive ownership is very high anyway. I'm not going to go taking out Cancelo because I think he'll be fine. The only thing that I am considering is doing a Kilman out move for a -4. Now, in his place would come either Doherty or maybe Reguilon. Now, Reguilon, I know I sold him a few weeks ago, but if Sessegnon's going to be out for quite a few game weeks, Reguilon may be nailed, but I don't know if he just wasn't playing because of Sessegnon or because there was a wider issue at play. then that's my concern. But if I did that, then I would probably end up benching Jimenez as well and playing a 4-5-1 on a -8, and I just don't know if that's beneficial. If Kilman's going to come back in and I think he's going to play in game week 30, then I don't think it's worth it. But if I don't think Kilman's going to play, then I think I probably do it. So that's what I really need to decide. Do I think Kilman is going to play in game week 30? Is Cancelo a hold or a sell? I think he's a hold. Yes, he's got an illness, but I think he'll play because their game is on Monday. Then they blank, but then they do play Burnley. Then it's Liverpool, but then their run-in is really nice, including a double game week to be rescheduled as well. I think if you haven't sold Cancelo already, I think he's a hold. I don't love defences enough this game week to go and jump in on them as well. If I look at the teams with a double game week this week, it's not that great. So, like, Spurs defence is not like amazing this week, away to United, away to Brighton. I don't necessarily think they'll keep 2 clean sheets. They might not even keep 1. So, play Rafinha or Broja. Out of the two, I'd probably play. I'd probably play Rafinha. Was my first instinct with them. Will Kilman be benched from now on? So the comments seem to imply that he wouldn't be, and he would come back in. But it is a bit of a concern that I just don't really want to be using my transfer next week to move sideways from Kilman to another defender. But I might just take the gamble that he comes back in and plays in game week 30. At the moment, as I think I saw Jaden say, you're just overthinking I'd stay with this team, but if you do change, then update you. But yeah, I think I may be overthinking a little bit, thinking of benching Jimenez when he's got a -4 to bench Jimenez doesn't really feel worth it. But that's the case for this week, right? I don't think that benching Jimenez from -4 this week is worth it. But if I'm putting out an extra player next week, then it's worth it. So it literally comes down to, do I think Kilman plays next week or not? Is Shah likely to start? I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think he should be fine. Would I do a -8 of Son, Saiss and Jimenez to Kudasevsky? So I've seen a few of these transfers that involve selling Son to downgrade him to Kudasevsky to bring in players in their place. I can understand why you're doing it, because you're bringing in Jimenez to Kane and Saiss to Doherty. I just don't love selling Son. But I can't see that move doesn't pay off, really. I think the players you're bringing in will outscore the players you're selling by 8 points, would be my hunch. Van Dijk out. We don't really know what the situation is. There are rumours that there are several COVID cases in that squad for Liverpool, but we don't know who they are. They are rumouring that it is Van Dijk is one of them. Could you try bringing Robertson? So the only way I could get Robertson is if I sell Cancelo. And I don't think that I really want to do that. Now, I was playing around with a potential wildcard team for Game Week 31. And I'm still not decided if I do that. But my wildcard would look something like this. And I was really excited by the prospect of it. Now, James, I don't know when he's quite going to be back. Let me just check the Liverpool fixtures from 31. Yeah, they play City in 32 is the only thing. But that's okay. It was probably going to be Roberts here. I think it was Schmeichel in goal with a potential other backup of like Dubravka or something. Or it could go down and just keep Foster. Odegaard would leave. Who else would leave? I think Rafinha was going to go. I'd probably end up going Ramsey in here for his double, but also on the bench boost. Broja comes in. Weghorst as well for his doubles, and then Harvey Barnes was the other one, but I don't have enough money for this anymore. Why not? Oh, because I've got Robertson where I had Rudiger before. But something like this. Who was Saka in here? Was Saka in my midfield? I can't quite remember what I decided, but yeah, Saka was in here. So this was it, but I had Rudiger in for Robertson. Because because of the amount of doubles that Chelsea are going to make up. But like a back four every week of James, Robertson, Trent, Cancelo is crazy good. So something like this would be a wild card that I would go for game week 31. Kilman's okay to go, the manager said. I think you're probably right, but there is just that little bit of doubt. That's what my wild card would look like. Let me get my team back up. I need to work on some transitions, don't I? But I just don't have time to do any of that, and I don't really know how either. Let me go. Cool. So my captain this week is Salah, for those people asking in the chat. Is Kulu a mistake for Martinelli? I wouldn't go sideways Martinelli to Kulu personally. If I had to pick one, I'd probably buy Kulu. But as said, Rafinha had 0 shots. 0 shots, 0 chances created yesterday. That's transfer. Yeah, it was not a good move. Yeah, but I'm going to have to keep him for this week and for next week as well. But after that, I may end up wildcarding in game week 31. I was hoping that I might be able to keep it and go with 2 free transfers. But the more I look at it, the more I will want, I think, just to start shipping out some of these players. You're planning on triple captaining Harry Kane. There's a lot of talk about triple captain this week for people who've still got it. I would probably still favour Salah, but I do think Kane is a good option. I think Salah is the better option, but I can't say enough to put you off Kane. Do I really see Bolly getting dropped for Kilman, especially with Wolves kept a clean sheet after Bolly's return? Hi Keith, how are we doing? This is my dilemma. I can't see Bolly being dropped, but he also said that Kilman will come back in. I think I'm going to roll with it, not take another -4, and we will see where we get to next game week and whether I think Kilman's going to play. There are 250 of you watching. Please drop a like on the stream, and only 33 of you have liked. So if you guys could like the stream, that would be great. We're also chasing our next milestone of subscribers, and I'm sure there are some of you guys in the chat who are not subscribed as well. We are 40 subscribers away from our next landmark, so our next round 100. So if you guys are in the chat and watching, please do subscribe, but also make sure to like the stream as well. If we can try and get up to 100 likes, that would be great. Have I locked this in already? No, but I think the more I talk about it, the more I think that the chances of me making an extra transfer is quite slim. Watkins on the bench, not having any Villa in my starting lineup, given the way Coutinho is performing, is slightly worrying, but I just fancy Jimenez and Wolves, given how they played and how Everton are playing. But you have 5 double game week players, including the Liverpool trio. Have Sanchez, Aït-Nouri, Weghorst, Cornet on the bench. Should I bench boost? No, I probably wouldn't bench boost that. Personally, I wouldn't anyway. Like ratio is criminally low. Like the stream to push the stream to more viewers. It would be great if you guys could. Afternoon, Mark. How are we doing? Thank you. I had such a dreadful game week last week that I end up... When you have that, you end up doubting your decisions so much. So I look at my team and I think, like, I don't trust them anymore. I'm just hoping that I don't get too much of a red arrow this week is kind of my mentality at the moment, which is not a good place to be. But I'm glad a few of you are saying that you like my lineup in the chat. Let's see where it goes, but yeah, we'll see. You've played your wildcard this week. Have I got any players to recommend for the long term? My wildcard draft that I put up looks like this, but this is for game week 31. I'd probably want double Liverpool defence in there. I'd want Salah in there. Again, it depends what you're doing for game week 30 because it is a big blank game week. This wildcard team does not sit well for a game week 30 because there's not that many players that have a fixture that week. So it depends really what you're doing in game week 30 before I can be able to help on a wildcard for next week. You went from 4 to 20k, but my team is good and I know they will use chips onwards and upwards. Let's hope that is the case, Keith. Let's hope that we can push on over the next couple of game weeks. You didn't bench boost last week and lost 36 points. My bench did okay. It had The only one who really did anything was Odegaard, and it's unfortunate, but is there a chance Salah is one of the ones with COVID? Who's my vice? I should maybe set my vice captain a bit better than that. I don't think it's Salah. From what we've seen, it's not Salah, but we'll have to wait and see. But I think he should be okay. I think we should be okay. How much in the bank for me? So I did Dennis to Kane. Yeah, apparently it's Van Dijk, but we don't know that. And then we went Kudasevsky. So 0.9 in the bank. So not loads, but if I had to play Rafinha or Jimenez, I'd still probably go Rafinha out of the two. I don't trust Jimenez enough to go and do it. Rudiger to Robertson for a -4. Again, I probably can't. I probably wouldn't. Well, yeah. Well, let's get the predicted points tool up. We know how much we love using this tool on streams to help with these sort of 50-50 decisions. Rudiger predicted 5.1. Robertson, it's not going to be predicted 9. It's close, actually. It's close. And long term, Robertson's probably a better pick. So I might have to say yes, I would do that. It's rarely the predicted points tool would actually say yes to a -4. Don't play Daka. Iheanacho has been incredible every time he's been subbed on. I don't know what's going to happen up front for Leicester. I'm hoping it becomes clearer because if Vardy's out for a while, they're a good price, the other two. But yeah, I agree. For the time being, I'm not going anywhere near them. Cancelo is ruled out this game week. No, he's not. We know that he's ill. Yeah, so he's ill. I'm hoping that he's back fit, fine for the game on Monday night. Bench Hwang or Cancelo? Bench Hwang. Dean or James to Doherty? Again, it depends what you're doing in game week 30. Abir, if you need Dean for 30, then I would sell James. If you don't, then I would sell Dean. No, Jaden, to be fair, there's a meetup in London doing tomorrow, which I can't go to. Unfortunately, I'm out all day, which is a real shame, but I'm not worried about price rises as your squad value is healthy. To be fair, I moved early on this because there was a time where I was considering doing 2 extra transfers of Cancelo to Robertson and Sarr to Lloris, and I would be priced out if I had waited to make those moves, which is fine. I'm still happy with the moves I made and I wouldn't have changed them. So luckily I've got through the week and it is okay that I've done them. Robertson or Doherty for James. Again, it depends what you need for 30. If you need the defender for 30, then you go Doherty. If not, then I think I would go Robertson. Robertson this week for me is a better option out of the two, but if you need them for next week, then Doherty. Redditor, how are we doing? Saiz to Doherty for me this week. It's a good move. I think a lot of people are eyeing up that Spurs defender, and I think his ownership might end up being pretty high as well, which is a slight concern. I know someone in the chat just mentioned is a Reguilon a nice pick. I do think he's a good option. I've considered him as well. If I went between the two of them now, I think I'd still probably go Doherty unless you need a short-term pick, because without Sessegnon, it looks like Reguilon is set to start and it should be pretty nailed. But there's the concern that him not playing has been more than just Sessegnon playing well while he had COVID, and there's something else going on, which is why I'd probably go Doherty if I was bringing in a Spurs defender this week. Are you mad for selling Coutinho to free up funds to get Kane? You'll have a Son Kane Spurs double up. I don't know what the transfers are that you are looking to make this week. Selling Coutinho is not something I love to do this week, if I'm honest. But he looks so good. He can return against anyone. Tierney or Doherty? The double for Arsenal defensively is not good. It's not good for Spurs at all, but it's better for Spurs, and Doherty's better going forward. So I'd get a Spurs defender probably. You did Rafinha to Saka yesterday. Should I take a hit to bring in Doherty for Kilman? Again, if Kilman was going to start in your team this week, then yes, but I don't know who'd be on your bench instead. Start Broja, Jimenez or Weghorst. So Broja did go off at the end of the game with a slight knock. I think he's expected to be fine. I'd probably play Broja given how Watford have been defending in the past few games. Jimenez is close behind, I think. Sell James to Doherty or Ramsey to Kudasevsky. Ramsey to Kudasevsky for me, because James from game week 31 is a player that you'll want to have back in your team if he's back by then. He should be back in and around that game week, but yeah. Am I looking to sell Kilman? I need to decide if I think he's going to come back into that Wolves lineup. If I don't think he is, then I may end up doing a transfer, selling him this week and benching Jimenez, but yeah, I'm a bit concerned about his minutes, definitely. At the moment, I don't need him this week, so I think I'm just going to wait on it and see if he comes back in this week and what I think will happen going into game week 30. But yeah, at the moment, I'm just planning on waiting. You see no way in which he comes back in. Just the comments today were very much like he will come back in, is what they were implying. So I don't need him this week, right? I could do I could do Kilman to like Doherty this week, but I would have to find someone to bench. And that's not going to be Cancelo. It's probably not going to be Rafinha against Norwich. It would be Jimenez. And it's literally down to whether I think... It's literally down to whether I think he is benched or not this week. And I need to make that decision. At the moment, benched or not next week. I need him for 30, not this week. We're almost at 100 likes. Thank you all. You just think it's unlikely given how well they played. But it was against Watford. So if you don't need him this week, then perhaps hold for 30. Yeah. You don't need Kelman this week. Better save the hit for 30. I think I agree. Cancelo to Doherty. Can bring Cancelo back in on wildcard. Yeah, but you'll lose so much value on that. You'll lose so much value on that. If it's for free and it adds a player for next week, then yes. But otherwise, I wouldn't go losing the value on Cancelo out for me. Their run-in's really good. And if they're fighting for the Premier League, which I can see them being, then I will want to keep him in there. Samir, thank you for subscribing. Broja or Dennis? I'd get Dennis out. Watford look truly atrocious the past few weeks. I'd get him out. I would go, yeah. I'd be selling Dennis. I'm so glad he's finally gone. He'll probably score now, but that's fine by me. Which two players out of Lamptey, Jimenez, Dennis, and Dean and Ramsey? Who are Brighton playing? Brighton have a double. But does Lamptey play both of them is the age-old question. The age-old question. I would play Lamptey Jimenez for me there. So Coutinho for Kudasevsky. I don't love the wholesale of Coutinho that we are seeing this week. He's playing a West Ham team that, yes, they've looked good in recent weeks, but they are... Sorry, they're playing a West Ham team that are looking good in recent weeks, but not watertight defensively. So I probably wouldn't do that. For free, potentially for a -4, definitely not. Mike, I don't mean to be ignoring you. I do apologise to anyone who thinks I'm ignoring them in the chat. I do my best. Rudiger bench last game. No, I think he'll start this week. I think Rudiger will start. If I'm wildcarding this week, why don't I just sell Cancelo? Because... If I'm wildcarding in 31, because I don't know if I am. I got so much value tied up in him. He's now 7 million. I bought him for 6. Like, I lose 500,000 in value, and it's not worth it. Later, as I said, Dennis could have got a haul. He's not worth dealing with Dennis shenanigans anymore. He could have got a haul in the first game in particular. Yeah, it's not worth it. We're 4 likes away from 100 likes. I know there's at least 4 of you in here who haven't liked it. Go on. How's it, Harry? I'm good, thank you. Super duper FC. Start Coutinho, Jimenez or Broja. I'd probably go Coutinho. I'd just go with the man on form. He's looked so good. I wouldn't want to back against benching Coutinho if you have him this week. Should he make a transfer favouring blank game week 30 or 2 Chelsea players saving transfers 29 and 30? Again, like, if you don't have a full 11 out in 30 and you're not playing a free hit, bringing in the likes of your Arsenal players and Spurs players who double this week is definitely what I would do. Oh man, sorry, what have you... I do my best, I really do. Thank you for the subscription. You have Salah, Saiz, Rafinha, Martinelli for game week 30 and can bring in another for game week 30. Should I free hit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The issue with your team, man, is that means you have no... You only have one Arsenal in Martinelli and you have no Spurs. I'd look to add a few more of them this week, but that would be a bit concerning because I think your team's weak for this week as well as next week. So I probably wouldn't free hit next week, but I would look at bringing a few more of them in next week. Welcome to anyone who is new recently to the channel. Appreciate it. We've gained quite a few subscribers, so thank you, and I hope you're enjoying. Who would I play instead of King, Broja or Ramsey? I play Broja if Casey's fit, and he should start. Gopesh, I appreciate the nice words. Broja, 8 Nori or Rafinha? I just still go Rafinha. I know he's not looked good recently and Leeds haven't, but it's a good fixture for them. It's a good fixture for them. -4 to bring in Kudasevsky and Doherty. Again, I don't know who's leaving, but they're good players to be bringing in this week. Triple Liverpool with Robbo or triple Spurs with Kulu. So I'd probably go... The Spurs double is easier, I think. I don't know what your transfers would be. Surely captain Kane versus Maguire. Yeah, but I'm just not going to go betting against Salah, who I know is going to have a lot of triple captaincies placed on him this week. I don't hate Kane as an option. I want who's predicted more points, but just the extra point for a goal and everything that Salah gets. But this week, Salah is predicted to outscore Kane. But yeah. Will Matip play both games? Probably. Who's the most nailed... please don't go buying any Everton defenders. It's not worth your time. It's not worth your trouble. Mount or Havertz? I'd go Havertz if I was buying one. I think probably I'd go Havertz. Yeah. What do I think about Davies instead of Doherty? I wouldn't. I'd go for the attacking option in Doherty. Yes, he might miss the occasional game, but his attacking threat is there to make up the difference between them. Should you triple captain Salah? If you've got your triple captain left, I think a triple captain on Salah is a very good time to be using it. There's not going to be better opportunities, I don't think, than a double for Salah. Especially if you've still got your bench boost left, because game week 36 is likely to be another double game week, but you'll want to bench boost that week. So Watkins or Dennis out for Lacazette? Watkins or Dennis out for Lacazette? I would probably sell Dennis because Watkins plays next week. Jiraj, thank you for subscribing. Mount and James out for Robbo and Kulu. Is it worth it, right? Mount and James for Robbo and Kulu. If it's for a minus... Yeah, I mean, they probably do pay off this week. They probably do pay off this week, yeah. It's in theory one fixture being sold for 4, so yeah. Rudiger for Robertson. Again, it probably pays off this week, just. It's going to be close, though, but I probably would do that. It's definitely not necessary to get a Spurs defender. Like, well, I don't have him, and he could easily ruin me again, but his ownership is going to be decently high. But I definitely don't think it's essential, no, given the double they have this week away at United and away at Brighton. Mohit, welcome. Tino and Bowen will come out for Kudasevsky and Doherty. Good transfers there. Ramsey to Saka, again, is a good move, I think. Saka is a great option this week. I would not want to be going into the week without Saka. Yes, their double is difficult, but he's looked really good recently. Very happy that I've got him in my team. Very, very happy indeed. So, do I think Doherty will outscore any other double game week? No, if I was buying any defender this week, I'd probably go Robertson. I would probably go Robertson. Of course, everyone has Trent, right? But I would go Robertson if I was buying. Yeah, but he doesn't play next week, Robertson. So Robertson doesn't play next week, so it depends what you need there. But this week alone, I think I'd go Robbo to add to Trent. Bring Hwang in on wildcard this week for 30, or take a blank and bring Broja in. I'd probably go Hwang, because those 2 games of Hwang is probably going to outscore what Broja is going to get this week. Probably. With Virgil van Dijk out, will it trouble Salah since there won't be anyone playing the long ball from defence? There's a chance that these injuries affect the way that Liverpool play a little bit. But I would still back Salah to do well. They score goals from a lot of other routes. So would I do Van Dijk to Robertson? If I had Van Dijk in my team, I would probably hold him. I think Van Dijk to Robertson is a good move, but we don't know it. Like, I would be answering that based off a guess whether I believe the rumours or not. If the rumours are true, then it's a good move to do. But if the rumours are not true, then it's not. Like, I can't answer it any better than that. Bowen likely to be out until after the international break, so I would sell. That's what I've heard. That it seems unlikely that he's going to be back before game week 30. So I would be selling him probably if you can this week. I may end up being wrong, but I think if you're bringing in, for example, Kudasevsky, Saka, then I think it's worth it because they double this week. You got Trent, Robbo, Rudy and Cancelo. Who should I sell for Doherty? I probably wouldn't. I don't think you need him if that's your defence. Your defence is stacked for this week. People will tell you Rudiger. It depends if you need him for game week 30. If you need that player for game week 30, then Rudiger out potentially, but Rudiger will start. And Doherty's a bit of a rotation risk, but a lot of questions coming in on Spurs. So let me add a little bit of text. A few things here. What's general themes in the chat? Oh, why Coutinho out? I wouldn't be selling Coutinho as well. Cool. I don't know what the text actually looks like on stream because it's not the best feature. Like, I don't think the quality is that high. Let me just have a look, but I need to look at these sort of things going forward. But I do quite like the... it looks okay. It looks okay, actually. Will Kulu still be a differential after the deadline? Absolutely not. He'll be 50% owned. He'll be massively owned. You had to wildcard, couldn't go another week with Dennis and King. I don't blame you. Wildcard this week probably means that you're free hitting next week, though. The text looks good. Fine. I quite like it. Allows me to... I know there's a few questions and I can't get to them all, but if I can answer some of the common ones with text, then it helps. -4 to remove Smith Rowe for either Saka or Kulu. Can remove Bowen instead. I probably would want to remove... I don't know who yours on your bench. I would say Smith Rowe's a bigger priority to remove than Bowen. If you can just bench Bowen, because from their upcoming fixtures, they have a better run. From sort of game week 32, I think, West Ham start from quite a nice run. So, Broja or Jimenez, that's quite tough. Let me see what the predicted point says on that one. My initial would be Broja for a home fixture against Watford. Jimenez. Yeah. It says Broja is what they're predicting. The text is fine as long as it's understandable, then it's okay. Yeah. Triple captain Salah. Yeah, if you've got your triple captain left, I think it's one of the best opportunities left this season to play it. Has a red course against Brentford gone under the radar? watching Burnley the recent weeks, I don't think it's necessarily going under the radar. I just don't love it as an option. If you've got Weghorst still from game week 26, 27, then I wouldn't mind starting him this week. But I don't think it's like, I think it's fine. I think he could get something, but I wouldn't go bring them in. James, how are we doing? Thank you and welcome. How are we doing on? 25 subscribers away from our target. Sanchez or Sarr? I would go Sanchez or Sarr. I'd probably go with the double of Sanchez. Just play the double game week. Sell Killman for Tierney. Sell Killman for Tierney. If it's for free, I probably would do that actually because Tierney plays next week as well. Yeah. Mike, how are we doing? Jota or Rafinha out for Son. I just don't think Jota will play both this week. If you need him for 30, then definitely Jota out. Thoughts on a -4 to get Maddison, Barnes and Hwang for Fraser. Nuclear, how are you making so many transfers? To get Maddison and Barnes and Hwang for Fraser and Adams. Maddison and Barnes. I wouldn't go -4 to get Barnes this week and Hwang this week when Fraser doubles. Oh, in game week 30. Yeah, fine. Yeah, Maddison or Barnes is a move I think a lot of people will be looking at. Replace Watkins or Jimenez for Kane. Probably Watkins. Yeah, the fixture for the next two are definitely better for Wolves, so I'd probably sell Watkins. Gordon or Reguilon. If I had to, I'd go Reguilon. I'd play him. I'm not buying into the Everton double at all. I'm not, for key questions, yeah, please say if you're going to free hit in game week 30. It's very difficult for me to answer questions depending on what your plan for the blank game week is. You have Mahrez. Should you keep him? I think he might start this week, but so yes, probably. Unless you want to take him out for a player that plays next week. But yeah, at the moment, I probably would just keep him. Does Hwang pique your interest? He's cheap and he's good fixtures. No, not really. I owned him early in the season. He's very patchy and he's not very explosive. And there's a lot of those forwards for Wolves coming back now. So no. Time for Calvert-Lewin to shine. Oh, is that Doherty to shine? DC. Was that Doc or Calvert-Lewin? Both of them could DCL to shine. Yeah, I think he could do well. It's a good double, but I wouldn't go buying into them. I still just not going anywhere near that Everton team. Kudasevsky or Saka? Saka, definitely. I like Kudasevsky, but only if you've already got Saka. Bangsy, welcome. Is it worth swapping Son and Lacazette for Kane and Saka? Absolutely not for -4. Paul, no. Use your transfers elsewhere. Guru, -20 for Kane. For Kane for Vardy, Pookie for King, Kulu for Mount, Liver for Cash, Robertson for James, and Foster for De Gea. No. Like, you're taking a hit to sell, bring in Foster, who'll sit on your bench, to bring in Livramento, who'll probably sit on your bench. No. Like, I would do Kane in for Vardy, maybe Broja in for King, and Kulu in for Mount, and I'd probably leave it at that. I wouldn't go -20. Definitely not. Why two Arsenal mids in my team? I've owned them for quite a long time. I've owned Odegaard for quite a long time and Saka as well. And now they have a double this week and playing game week 30, so I just plan on keeping them at the moment. Maddison to Coutinho for a -4. I probably wouldn't bring in Coutinho for a -4. No, I just hold on to whatever your situation is on Coutinho now and just wait it out and see how it goes over the next couple of game weeks. It's difficult fixtures for them now. Broja was injured though. I think he'll be okay. We don't know the answer to that, whether he's going to be back for this week or not. I think he should be okay though. What tokens have I got left? So I've still got, from my team selection video you will have seen, I've still got bench boost, wildcard, and one free hit to play. Would I say Arsenal defender or Doherty for Dean? Would I say Arsenal defender or Doherty for Dean? I prefer Doherty for Dean this week. Probably Reece James replacement. Again, it needs to be dependent on what you do in game week 30. Robertson I really like if you don't need him for next week. If you do need them for next week, I'd probably go Doherty. I made 2 transfers yet, so for anyone new to the stream that wasn't here at the start, I've sold Jared Bowen and I've sold Dennis, and I brought in Harry Kane and Kudasevsky. Those were my 2 moves that I made this week. Richarlison or DCL, if I had to buy one this week, I'd probably buy Richarlison, but I wouldn't probably be going near either of them. Plan to play with 10 next week, and that's absolutely fine. So it would be better keeping Smith Rowe on hope he played and remove Bowen for Saka. Potentially, the Indian football coach, thank you for subscribing. I think there's an equal chance that Smith Rowe and Bowen play next game week. I think Bowen will miss out, so maybe you sell Bowen and hope that you get something off the bench from Smith Rowe. This week is fairly quiet for a double game week. Maybe people already own most of the vital assets. The thing is, a lot of them play against each other. There's a lot of cross matches for a lot of these players. Like you've got Arsenal playing against Liverpool being a big one. You've then got Spurs playing against United. Like, they're not easy doubles as well. At the moment, no one doubles in game week 31. Sajibish, welcome. Thank you all for joining on this Friday afternoon. Overall rank and target rank. So my overall rank is just here. I am 25k. I was 10k before this. I'm still hoping to finish inside the top 10k because I think, if I could have 2 seasons in a row finishing inside the top 10k, it would be like I'd be very, very happy with that. To do these things back to back is very difficult. Last year was my first top 10k finish. To back it up again, I think just relieve a lot of pressure more than anything. But I think it would sort of give me a bit more confidence in what I'm doing as well. But I would hope, I'm hoping for a top 10k finish is what I would love. But I realise that it's quite a push now in 10 game weeks to make that jump. No free hit for next week. You've gone triple Spurs and Arsenal and Stock will player that have risen in value. I think, if you cover off the next game week, if you're covering off some of the key options like your Kanes, like your Kane or Son, maybe Kudasevsky, Saka, an Arsenal defender, the Villa attacker. If you've got those things covered, you're in a... Oh, it is starting to rain. Rather than getting Hwang in 30, is it better to get Chambers for Tierney? To get the money for Barnes. I like Barnes next week more than I like Hwang. So yeah, that's a good target rank. What chips do I still have remaining? So at the moment I have my bench boost, I have my free hit, and I have my wild card. And I'm going to not use a chip this week or next week. And I'm hoping I can stay... Yeah, Mark, I agree. Nuclear, I don't know if you've got 6 teams. Like, you seem to make so many transfers every week. I know you're just asking useful questions, and I don't mind it at all. You think creating... Sorry, yeah, so I'm hoping I can stay about top 25k after the next 2 game weeks, because I've got 11 out next week, which is good, but I don't have any Leicesters or anything. You think creating content more often also improving me as an FPL manager? That's interesting, because I think a lot of people who do like this sort of stuff would probably disagree, that think that actually makes you a worse manager. But yeah, play Dennis or Maddison this week. I'll probably go Maddison. I'm not going anywhere near Watford anymore. I had enough of Watford. Ben Foster can sit on my bench for the rest of time. Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Who should we captain this week? Salah for me is top, if not Kane. So we are 7 subscribers from our target for today. That would be great. If we hit that target during today's stream, then I'll do a deadline stream tomorrow. How about that? I think. Yeah. Would I sell Son to Kulu and get Kane in? A lot of people have asked me this. I don't know who you'd be selling to get Kane. If it's for like a -4 max, then potentially. But selling Son is just like not a good move, right? I probably wouldn't, especially if it's for hits. You have only bench boost left with points nearly 18, 20. Are you finished? I don't know what points I'm on. Like total points. No, you're not. I don't know what your rank is. Just set yourself goals for the end of the season. Like, everyone is in a different place now. You can't take any chances anymore. I'll tape up transfer plans on the wall if I have to. Other than Saka, who do I think is the best Arsenal midfielder? Probably Martinelli. As much as I love Odegaard, Odegoat as I call him, I probably would go Martinelli. I'm going to put a little poll out in the chat, which is completely unrelated to FPL, but it's a big debate that's been going around, and I've had a conversation with a few people about it. But I'm just interested to know what you guys think about it. It's what are there more of in the world? Doors or wheels? I'm a wheels person personally. Interested to hear what you guys think. Sorry, I was just replying to a text. Do I know? Not you too. Yeah, wheels. See, it's just like when I did my chess stream. People much prefer stuff that's not FPL. Like wheels or doors is much more exciting. What do I think? Dubravka, Broja, Rudiger, Kilman, bench boost or no? Or not? Dubravka with a double, Broja with a single. It's pretty touch and go. I think predicted points wise it would say so. I would probably do Kilman to potentially to like Doherty and then play my bench boost if that was me. I think I probably would. Especially if you've played your wildcard already. Doors are clear. You're going to go doors since there are more rooms than cars. So for anyone who is oblivious to this, basically, the cars are irrelevant, right? Because cars have, in theory, the average car has 4 doors and 4 wheels. So you can practically discount cars from the whole equation. Cupboard doors, but then bicycles, Hot Wheels, but then like office chairs, like think about how many office chairs there are with like the chair I'm sitting on has got 5 wheels on. There are more wheels in my house than there are doors. Cars have 5 doors. Oh, you're opening up a whole debate whether I know when you get sold a car, they tell you it's got 5 doors because it's got a boot. That doesn't count. Boona's come on to watch a stream to try and escape it on Twitter, but it's not how it works. Fella talking about how I bought. No, I haven't had my sponsorship offer yet. What about advent calendars? Again, very dubious about what a door is as well. Why does a boot not count? Because a boot's not a door. But then there are also 3-door cars, right? Advent calendars. I don't know what we're going to do with them. Anyway, let's do some FPL questions as well. Martinelli or Kudasevsky? I would go Kudasevsky over Martinelli because I think there's a chance Smith Rowe starts one of them. Coutinho to Kudasevsky for a 4-point hit. No. Don't sell Coutinho. Point on the questions. You guys have come in here to throw me off my stream. Will Reguilon play? I think he'll probably play both. I've thought about buying him. Wolves midfielders? I don't think so. I wouldn't go buying them. Definitely not. Office wheels count, but car doors don't. Yeah, maybe I'm fixing the conversation. Van Dijk to Doherty, Jimenez to Kane, and Son to Kulu. Van Dijk, if he's going to be out, that's a good move. Yeah, I probably would do that if Van Dijk's going to be out. Coutinho's fixtures are poor, though. I wouldn't go selling him, though. I wouldn't. If you've got him, fine. I wouldn't go selling him, but I also wouldn't go buying him. If whatever your situation is with Coutinho, I would just hold him now. Like, he's on such good form that selling him seems ridiculous. But this is a complete 50-50 split on the poll. Am I going to keep Cancelo? Yes. Am I going to keep Cancelo? Yeah, I will. Do I enter the car via the boot? Well, exactly. It's not a door. Show me someone who enters the car through a boot. Is Cancelo fit for this game week? He's ill, so I think he should be okay. I'm going to keep an eye on it, but I think he'll be okay. James to Dirty, 1 free transfer this week. -12 next week to get 11 for 30. Yes, but like a -12 next week, I just don't know if it's worth it. I'd maybe go -4, -8 and just play a man down. Chelsea Megastore mudded. It's true. It's true. Am I planning on selling Rafinha anytime soon? Like, no. Yes, after game week 30, but until then, there's no point me selling a player for a hit that plays that week. So that's what I'm going to wait for. Fridges have doors, but you don't go in there. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But Son or Kane for the long term? So this is an interesting one. Son, because he's cheaper, but Kane, because he frees up a midfield spot. I would probably go Kane because of the midfield spot it frees up. My girlfriend has left her makeup out, and it seems to be on my desk. You come for a real top quality stream. We're doing doors and wheels and we're putting on makeup. Sorry to everyone who's maybe new to the stream or is hoping to get their questions answered. What are my transfers? I brought in Kane for Dennis and I brought in Kudasevsky for Bowen. Mark my words, Kane will outscore Salah. Do you think? It will be close, but I just think Salah gets those chances. I worry with the couple of Spurs games that they've got that the players will want. What tends to happen with Spurs against these sort of teams is they'll drop deep. Kane will drop deep and Son and Kulu will run in behind, but that's my worry, which is why I'm not going with Kane. Sell Rafinha for Kudasevsky. Sell Rafinha to Kudasevsky. Probably not. Again, I don't think my confidence in Kudasevsky starting both games is high enough. You usually get punished for doubting Salah. This is true. Broja or Jimenez start? I'd probably go Broja. Probably Broja. What's my chip strategy? Probably going to look to a free hit 30, maybe wildcard 30, sorry, free hit 33, wildcard either 31 or 34, and bench boost 36. You're already on a -4, taking another -4 to get Doherty for Cucurella. Again, if Cucurella was going to start, then fine. Cucurella has a double, actually. But again, if you need Doherty for 30, then yes. If you don't need Doherty for 30, then no. You got rewarded for not having Salah in 28. Yeah, but it doesn't happen often that you get rewarded for not owning Salah. Not often that you get rewarded for it. Thank you, Kove, for subscribing. We have hit our target of 16.4k for today, so we probably have to end up doing a deadline stream tomorrow. How long have we been live for? Just over an hour, so we probably won't stream for that much longer. But is Cancelo defo play this week? I don't think so. What am I drinking tonight? This is currently a bottle of water, but I'll probably have a beer later, although I'm a bit hungover, so maybe not. Alonso or Silva for Doherty? If either. Alonso's minutes is a concern. I'd probably sell Alonso. Start Weghorst, Bowen or Cancelo? Cancelo. Salah out in 30 and praying he issues 31. Watford at home is suicide. Yeah, I wouldn't go selling Salah ahead of 30. Again, it's a value thing as well for 1 week. He was watching that game sweating when Salah hit the post twice. I can imagine. Have Doherty, James out. Have Doherty, James out, bring in who? If you can bench him until game week 31, then fine. Elsewhere, Robertson I like. Tierney I like. Depends what you need for next week as well. Is Rudiger going to start for Chelsea? I think so. Bottle of water. I think Rudiger will come back in and start. Should you buy Kulu for Bowen? That's what I did, so yes. And Robbo or Doherty for Cancelo. Again, it completely depends if you need them for game week 30 or not on the Robbo Doherty one. If you need them for next week, then it's Doherty. If not, it's Robbo. Do I ever make transfers while a bit drunk? Not recently. Not recently. I used to, but not anymore. James Fuller. Rafinha, Adams or Dennis? I would probably play Adams, but him or Rafinha. Him or Rafinha. Play one. Watkins, Dennis or Cody. Probably Watkins. If you don't have Coutinho, then Watkins. If you do have Coutinho, then probably Dennis. But you bought Kudasevsky instead of Bowen. Good choice. Yes, I did exactly that move. So yes, it is. I can back that for sure. Can back that for sure. Right. Right, we are going to wrap up the stream. I am thinking that I have time to do a deadline stream tomorrow. So my DMs on Twitter are open. I can't answer them all. If you do consider joining as a tier 2 member, link in the top of the description, you can get access to a group chat on Twitter with myself and all the other tier 2 members where we talk about strategy, and I can answer your questions like 24/7 apart from when I'm asleep, of course. So if you are wanting to, get your questions answered and I haven't got back to you in DMs, do consider joining as a tier 2 member. Tier 1 member basically gets you unlimited super chats in the chat as well, because it gets your name highlighted and I will always answer every single one of your questions. Yes, Broja, Son, Adams to Kane, Kulu, Doherty for a -8. I can understand why you're doing that. Probably does pay off this week and next week as well. So yes, I would do that. Do consider it. Link in the top description, tier 1 and tier 2 members. If you don't want to, just turn on your notifications because the first comments on videos are always the ones that get the replies and highest chance of replies. My DMs are over on Twitter as well, are open. Thank you all so much for watching. Good luck if I don't see you tomorrow morning, but I will be back for a deadline stream. Thank you all, and I'll see you all again very soon. If you haven't subscribed as well, please do that before you go. Thanks all. Bye.